Have you been asking yourself the question, why am I always going broke in the Cold War era? What products should I be exporting? Why doesn't somebody make a video on this? Oh wait, I think this is that video. Hello, Hogziller here again. I've noticed a number of posts and comments in various discussion forums about how people seem to go broke in the Cold War era a lot, and people complaining they're unable to make money. So in today's video, I'm going to cover how to make money in each era and what products you should be focusing on for exporting. If you like these kind of videos, press that like button. If you have questions or your own methods to make money in each era, leave a comment below and please subscribe to my channel. So before we get started with era-specific tips, here are a couple general tips and tricks. Use the trade screen to your advantage. Click the trade screen button, then the goods and prices tab, then sort by prices. The higher the price, the more you will get for the item in question. Another trick that is generally used is to make manufacturing goods, as that'll get you more money than exporting raw resources. So focus on turning things into other things. Watch the price modifier screen. Under the trade screen, there's a tab called price modifiers, which will give you a little extra money for the specific item or items mentioned. Finally, watch the number of Teamsters you have. If you have too many, they will just sit around costing you large sums of money, as Teamsters are very expensive. You don't want to have too few Teamsters either, as having too few means the items are not moving from place to place in your island, therefore they're not eventually getting to your port, making you money. So it is key to find that perfect balance between having too many or too few Teamsters. Starting off in the Colonial Era, there is not much really going on in this era. Gold being a raw resource and getting you about 9,000 stands out, so if there is a close vein or veins, then definitely go with gold. Also, exporting rum is a big plus with its 9,200, and all you need to do is build sugar plantations and a rum factory, which can be built anywhere on the map. So this is another must, unless sugar farming is impossible on the island. A possible third option is leather. This can be done by producing hides and turning them into leather with a tannery, which I find more of a hassle than it is worth for the 5,400 export rate. Or you could have a crocodile ranch, which produces the leather directly but at a slower rate, so it might not be worth it. In the World War era, you can now build some more profitable items. The first item I recommend is you focus on boats. Building logging camps can be done in just about anywhere there is trees. You take the logs from the logging camp and turn them into planks at the lumber mill. From there, the planks can be taken to the shipyard and turned into boats at about 11,500 rate. The second item is cigars. This can be a better item to export from the perspective that, unlike boat, which requires 3 transport steps, cigars only require 2 transport steps, with tobacco being sent to the cigar factory and the product from the cigar factory being sent to the port at the same 11,500 export price. The third item you want to focus on is weapons. If you can build the infrastructure, you're going to have to build your coal and iron mines, take that product to the steel mill, take the steel to the weapons factory, and at the same time, you're going to need to build some nickel mines, which generally in the game isn't close to anything else, But if you can get that raw resource then to your weapons factory, you should be able to export weapons. I personally find the 15,000 per 1,000 exported well worth it if you have all the raw materials and enough Teamsters on your island. Now to discuss the era that inspired me to create this video, the Cold War era. A number of comments on people saying their islands started to lose money or failed really baffles me when entering the Cold War era, but I will explain what I export. The first thing to mention is swapping out your shipyards for furniture factories, as furniture factories can be placed anywhere on the map instead of on the beaches like with the shipyard. Plus, you get a little more money for furniture as compared to boats. Another oddity item you want to focus on is uranium. Now, I know this goes against the grain of what I've been saying on focusing manufacturing items, but with its 12,000 per 1,000 exported, and if it's close enough by to the port, it is well worth exporting uranium. This is a giant payoff opportunity for this item. Jewelry is another item you want to keep your eye on with its 16,500 export price. But given that gold as a raw resource still exports at about 9,000, you could skip this one if you had to. But the big item you want to focus on in this era is cars. With its 28,000 you get per 1,000 exported. But once again, there is a series of steps with producing steel and then taking rubber from the plantation and getting that to the car factory. Cars is how you make money in the Cold War era. Do not focus on raw resources other than gold or uranium. Do not focus on fish farms. Do not focus on chocolates. Do not focus on plastics. Those are all low-paying export items. You want to focus on the items I've mentioned here. Now, finally, the modern times era, the final era in Tropico 6. In this era, it is a little bit underwhelming on new items. Manufacturing cars still reigns supreme. You want to focus on cars in this era still, but doing apparel will bring in a little over 13,000 per 1,000 manufactured, which is good given you just need to change cotton or wool into cloth and then cloth into apparel. Electronics will also bring in a nice profit, but the price is only around 10,000. In my opinion, stay away from the juicery factory. I feel the price of about 5,400 is not worth the hassle of this factory. I will add that if you have the Llama of Wall Street DLC, you might want to focus on smart furniture, as that brings in 18,000 per 1,000 exported. And if you have the Caribbean Skies DLC, the surveillance drone is a good item to export at 14,000 per 1,000 exported. That is all for this video. If you like these kind of videos, press that like button. If you have a question or an alternative method to making money in each era, leave a comment below, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.